As the clouds gather in the sky and your hands grip the suka of your katana, you focus on the target. Prepare to strike. With one fluid movement, you step and swing. With a thunderous clap that rattles the heavens and severs the object in your sights. The Raimie XL Katana represents the next generation in heavy cutting katana from the new HANWEI brand. Okay guys, this one I'm excited about. This is a brand new addition to HANWEI's line ever since HANWEI was taken over with a new factory headed by Frenchie Jin, which is responsible for Dragon King and APOC. And he's heading the operation as far as the factory of rebuilding HANWEI, making all brand new pieces. Now, this is not just a reissue of an older piece that's been around for decades. This is a brand new item. This is the HANWEI Raimie. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, but I'll go with Raimie. Brand new to the XL geometric of katana. Now, if you guys don't know the Practical XL, which is one of pretty much my favorite sword of all time, favorite cutting sword, favorite a lot of things with this sword. They are known for giving the industry the best cutting swords in the market, especially for the price point that they're selling them at. Now, this is an extension of the line, of the XL line, continuing the XL line, and this is going to fit perfectly comfortably with the XL, with the Practical XL, the XL Pro, the whole XL Practical line. This Raimie is a fantastic sword. As soon as I opened this out of the box from an open boxing, I felt it was the Practical XL reborn. Now, we can't compare this exactly to the Practical XL because there is a new Practical XL coming out from Frenchie, which I am over the moon to test that out, and that should be coming to my channel soon. Thank you, Patrick. But this is just an extension of the line, extending the line with another fantastic cutting XL geometric sword with an extra wide blade. Now, at this point in time, guys, I did all my cutting with this sword. I am going to show you all about it, but in tradition of my channel, when I review my swords and my katana especially, I'm going to give you a little bit overview of fit and finish. Now, we're not going to be too critical to fit and finish because this sword is not meant to be a glamorous, high-end, high fit and finish type of sword, even though it's built and done very well and a big improvement over the original Practical XL that I had for many, many years. So guys, right off the line, this sword is a heavy sword. Without the saya, it's about 2 pounds and 13 ounces. So if you're not used to cutting with a sword like this, it takes a couple of cutting sessions for you to get used to the geometric and the weight distribution. But when you do, oh man, this sword cuts like an absolute dream. It's about 41 inches overall. The blade is a forged and clay tempered 1566 steel, which I'm glad they're bringing the 1566 steel over the high carbon steel of the Practical line, because that steel had served that sword so well for so many decades. I mean, it's resilient. It could take a bend and keep on cutting. It is just, I have abused the living shit out of my 1566 steel from the Practical XL, and I'm so glad that they're continuing the line with that steel. Okay, now the blade itself is about 28 inches and a quarter length in size. And you can see how beautiful this sword is. It's an extra wide motohaba, which is the width of the blade from the habaki. I couldn't get the word, from the habaki. It's actually about, I'm reading it in the back, it's about 36 millimeters, 1.417 inches. That's a huge wide blade. The wide blade geometric is what makes this sword such a great and fantastic cutter. And it's consistently wide all the way through. It only tapers out to about 24 millimeters at the tip, which is about 1 inch. So you're talking about 1.4 to 1 inch. It's almost exactly the same width all the way throughout the entire blade. The thickness of the blade is equally as impressive. You're talking about 6 millimeters of thickness on the blade from the guard, and it only tapers down to about 3 millimeters at the tip. Very strong and robust sword. This sword is made to be a very hard and heavy cutter. It's a sword that is made and bred and was born to cut tatami mats, to cut hard bamboo, not soft bamboo crap. Even the hard bamboo, this thing will cut with ease with no damage and no pressure on the user whatsoever. It actually helps the user in cutting, because even if their edge alignment is not great, like mine is sometimes, it helps the user because they will still perform the cut. So if you're looking for a great cutter that's going to be very forgiving, this is definitely the sword for you. The HRC of this sword, since it is a forged sword and it's a real clay tempered sword, the HRC of the edge, or the Ha, is at around 60 HRC, and the spine is at around 40. So you have a very sharp, keen edge that can take and keep a very good edge, but it also has the 40 HRC spine that can basically be forgiving and be able to kind of even take a bend and not break. And I have done so much with my practical XL. You should just look at my catalog. And if this is anything like that, this sword is going to last you for a generation of cuts. I love the fact that Suka is 11 inches. That's exactly my sweet spot. It's like they were thinking about me the whole time when they made this. Thank you, Frenchie. 11 inches is my sweet spot on the nose. The Sukamaki is very tight. That is the beauty of the sword compared to the Practical XL. The Sukamaki is extremely tight. The knots and the diamonds on the original Practical XL were never quite as tight. They never really dislodged or moved to the point where I couldn't use it, but it's nice to know that they're giving you a right out of the gate a very tight and alternating good diamond spacing Sukamaki. I'm very impressed about that. It's tight, and I love the fact that it is tight. Beautiful pieces. They're not giving you the plain iron pieces. They're giving you some iron pieces, but with some kind of floral designs on them. And I love the look of them. The Fuchi, the Kashina, all the same type of plain look, plain iron look, which you love about the Practical XL, but they threw some little floral pattern designs, which look absolutely fantastic. I love how they look. They just gave it a little bit of an expression on their own. And it's supposed to be thunderclouds and thunderclaps and things like that. There is a theme behind this sword, and they did it really well. You have the cloud manuki, you have the thunder clouds and the thunderclap type of pieces on the Suba. It's a beautiful, beautiful pieces. Habaki is a silver habaki. I don't know if it's exactly silver. It might be brass and tinted silver, but it matches the sword and the aesthetics of the sword so well. This is a very good looking sword. I love swords like this that are basically classic in design, but not too over embellished, and just get to the point and do it really well. I love the fit and finish of it. The transitions are very well done on the Kashida. No gaps or anything that's moving. The knot is excellently tight. I am very impressed with how they put this sword together, considering it's supposed to be kind of just a cutter sword and a banger sword, and it's not supposed to be that pretty. But the transitions, even on the Fuchi, are fantastically done. Perfect? No, of course not. But fantastically done. No hot spots, no edges. Perfectly comfortable axe handle. I love the axe handle of the HANWEI. It's perfectly comfortable in my hand. Not as axe handle-ish as the previous ones, but it is equally as comfortable as any HANWEI I've ever held in my hand. I personally have never had an issue with the handles. I love the handles. Seppas are really nice designed. I love the color aesthetic. I love the look and the polish of the blade. The hamon is beautiful. It's such a gorgeous looking blade. I love the width of the blade, the polish of the blade, the two-tone polish. I love the prominent hamon without making it too prominent. It's a pretty beautiful sword that you can admire and really enjoy owning, but it's also a sword that means business and is going to cut, and it's going to be probably the best cutter you've ever had. What I noticed out of the box, right out of the box, very paper slicing sharp. Now, I went in and I cut some water bottles with it. Now, again, it takes a little getting used to, even though I've cut with Practical XL for many years, but when you don't cut with it for a while and you're cutting with all these other swords that are light and nimble, it takes a little, maybe a cutting session or two. This won't be a one and done, guys. I'm going to be cutting with this thing for years to come, especially with the other XL line. So this is not a one and done. This is basically a sword I'm going to own. I'm going to cut with very frequently. You're going to see this a lot on my channel. So at the first run, I was kind of just holding back, trying to get used to basically the start and stops, the weight distribution, all that. But towards the end of my cutting session with Tommy Matson Pumpkin, I felt it already where the weight was going. It's not a clunky sword, guys. It's a heavy sword, but it also, the weight distribution of the sword is done extremely well. It's just a matter of getting used to it. So if you have never cut with a sword like this before, you definitely need a couple cutting sessions to get used to it. And when you do, it's going to be great. Very good slicing type of sword. Even though it's a heavy sword, it is a great slicing sword. It's a heavy cutter, but it also is a great slicer. Kind of learn the ways of the geometric of the sword, the ways of the XL, it will serve you really well I didn't mean to rhyme, but it sounded pretty good. Guys, now I brought this thing into the woods and we went to town with tatami mats. Again, I was holding back on the tatami mats. I wanted to really get some nice clean cuts. I wanted to see how it felt, how the weight distribution was. And listen, this is every bit a good tatami cutter, a fantastic tatami cutter as the XL cutter has ever been. Very impressed, and I'm so glad that they honor the tradition of the XL line by giving you this Raimie with the same type of cutting performance of the Practical XL, which I absolutely adore. And you can see how it was cutting through the tatami mats so extremely well. So impressed with the cuts. Even if I had misalignment, it still cut, it still went through everything. I was doing cut after cut after cut, stacking up the tatami mats, and it was cutting through everything that I threw at it. Wherever you're pointing the edge of this sword, of this Raimie XL sword, it's gonna cut. If it can be cut, it will cut it. And guys, 'tis the season. October is here. This is my first pumpkin cutting of the season. These are fresh cuts. It is a fresh pumpkin, but it was so satisfying to finally cut some pumpkins again. I love this time of year to cut my pumpkins. So great slices. Pumpkins are a little bit, they're not that easy to cut. You have to kind of have good edge alignment and a good robust edge to be able to kind of get through without the pumpkin flying off your stand all the time or pushing it off. And it cut it and sliced it so well. I was thinking the pumpkin would fall, but because it's such a great cutting geometric, it sliced through it before the pumpkin was shaking enough to fall off. So that's how I could tell this is a great cutting sword, because I have cut pumpkins with other swords before, and it didn't stay firm, and I didn't get like static like cuts like I did with this sword. So very impressed with the pumpkin cutting cuts of the first of the season of October. Happy Halloween to come, my favorite time of year. And it did it really well. Great way to kind of kick off the October season with these pumpkin cuts from this Raimie XL. Guys, this is a great sword. I absolutely enjoyed it. Patrick, thank you for sending it to me. You knew I would absolutely love it. So great in the hand. Basically it's a heavy sword, but it is so, the weight distribution of the sword is fantastic. I love how it feels, and I love the fact that it will cut and it will serve you really well, and you can cut heavier materials without having to worry about the sword or be delicate with it or anything like that. It's that type of sword that you could kind of cut with it with confidence, and you know it's going to come off on the other end and with all your cutting sections to be perfectly fine, which it is. Still very, very sharp. I have no problem with kind of cutting with this thing for another 4 sessions before I think about honing this again, or even more, because it's that type of edge, the 1566 steel that they do, and I could see already with Frenchie's treatment of the 1566, he did a great job. So guys, more videos to come with this Raimie HANWEI. Very excited to introduce this brand new HANWEI production. After decades, this is a brand new design, first in such a long time, and I'm looking forward to what else HANWEI has to offer and has to bring to the market. Really looking forward to the new Practical XL that's coming my way pretty soon, as soon as it comes off. And again, Cat Siberia, thanks for sending this over. This is, again, a fantastic XL line. I love the addition of this into the line. This fits absolutely perfectly. Cat Siberia is basically rebirthing HANWEI, and they're doing a great job with this new HANWEI Raimie Katana. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next Sword and Knife video, guys. And look out for some great things coming from Cat Siberia and HANWEI.